Hello Taurus, and welcome to your monthly tarot advice video for the month of June. Before we get started, I'm super excited to announce that I now offer live one-to-one Zoom sessions where we can chat, you get to ask questions, and we really get to explore the energies that come through for you on a deeper level. And we also have 20% off all Zoom sessions for the month of June, and that is linked down below for you as always. So I'd be really grateful if you could check that out, and I'm super excited to chat with you all. Now we can go ahead and jump right into what is coming through for you in the month of June, any energies, advice that you might need to know about, and as always, please take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's go ahead and jump right in. What do my lovely Tauruses need to know about the month of June, please, Spirit? What's coming through? Oh, we have two here. So we have look in a book. Whatever your question right now, you'll find the answer in a book. The words you find will bring the insight you seek. Oh my gosh, isn't this a gorgeous card? So slowing down, maybe you have had this habit of saying, I want to get back into reading, I want to learn this thing, and maybe, you need to learn it from a book here. So we also have wait for winter. During the colder months, the fairy of winter will help you manifest your heartfelt wishes as long as your intentions are for the highest good of all. This is a really interesting combo to come out, and to me it does feel like right now is the time for studying, finding answers, finding guidance, planning our next steps, and then in the winter is when it will come time for actually maybe doing the practical work, refining and actually starting to manifest and draw in whatever it is that we're wanting to build here. So now we're going to jump into the tarot messages for the month of June. So what is the current energy or the theme of the month for my lovely Taurus, please, Spirit? What is the theme for the month of June for the Tauruses watching this video? What do they need to know? What is the current theme, the current energy, please, Spirit, for the month of June? One more card. Oh, I said one, but we got two. We can cope with that. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, we have Death, and we also have the Seven of Cups. So this does, again, feel like you're wanting to plant seeds, you're wanting to try new things, maybe even invest your time, your energy, or your money in places. And you're hoping for big transformations and big changes. And those are definitely happening for you this month, but it is something that is going to take time. And with the Seven of Cups coming through right now, the energy is the choices that you make now, again, are leading up for something bigger coming through to you. And like it says, in the colder months. This is a very interesting energy. Again, taking time to really figure out wisely your next steps of where you want to plant this seed, why you want to plant this seed, and how to go about it all, so that you really have the best chance of success. I feel like for a long time you've maybe been calling in this change and transformation, and you've been trying a lot of different things, and I think right now it's the time for studying, for learning, and again, for seeking out answers in other places than just the resources that you've been currently using. So this could be looking at different texts, maybe spiritual texts, maybe science texts, or even just reading a fantasy book. If you read a lot of self-help books, it is important that you also just read, some fiction from time to time, because that really does help boost the creative mind, and it can really help with your problem solving and building ideas. Now we're going to take a look at what challenges might be coming through for you this month. What challenges might Taurus face in the month of June, please, Spirit? What challenges? Oh, what do we have here? I see it. We have the Six of Pentacles. What challenges might Taurus face? And the Queen of Pentacles. This is an interesting energy. The first thought that I had when this came out is the Six of Pentacles is usually about give and take, helping those that help us, helping those that maybe are less fortunate for us, or also being open to accepting help when we need it, right? Has to be this equal give and take. And I feel like with the Queen of Pentacles, I don't know why I feel this energy of like, maybe you feel like you're in a position where you can't accept help, or where you're not deserving of these resources, or where you should be the one that should be able to give instead of take. I feel like you're struggling with maybe that you feel like you have more to give than you're able to in some way. Like you wish you could give more, deep down you should be giving more, but also I feel like the challenge right now is that it doesn't align with what you're trying to build. Maybe you help out a lot of people, maybe financially, maybe mentally, maybe physically, you help them out, but then you end up with less for yourself, and then you're the one that needs help. But hang on a minute, you had all of this before, so why do you need help now? You know, I feel like there's almost this guilt surrounding it. And in the right community, with the right support, you shouldn't be feeling those feelings of guilt or shame. Let's dive into what your work and career or purpose could be. And I feel like I always have to say this, your work and career does not have to be a physical career 9 to 5. Your work can be the time and energy and effort that you put into things all around your life. So it could be that you need to work on your emotions right now, or work on your mental world or your physical world. But whatever it is, what is your work, career and purpose looking like for the month of June? What is Taurus's work? Ooh, that I've never seen a card quite jump like that. We have the Hierophant reversed. Do you know what's funny is I recently did a group Zoom session where we journaled and we did some tarot and oracle messages, and one of the messages that came out was do nothing. And I think right now you're kind of struggling with, again, wanting to look in a book, wanting to do the grunt work, with wanting to do the studying and the buckling down. Again, maybe you don't want to, whatever you're manifesting or working towards, maybe it is not the traditional routes. Maybe it's not something traditional, so you think, I don't have to study like everybody else. I don't have to read the books. I don't have to take notes. Whatever it is that you think, you need to flip it on its head, because even though the path you're going down is non-traditional, and even though the future you're hoping for and building towards is non-traditional, it does not mean that you should not take some of the traditional steps to get there. Let's see what else comes through in your work, career and purpose. We also have the Two of Wands. So like I said, this is the time for planning out your steps. Again, doing the grunt work, doing the studying, doing what you don't want to do, but that needs to be done in order to have a good, solid plan. Right now, in this time, it is all about planting the seeds, getting the knowledge to plant the seeds, gathering the resources, doing, again, like the grunt work that nobody wants to do. Like, do you not think scientists just want to like go out there and do all the fun experiments? But they have to sit and they have to, you know, write out their reports and write down their theories and their ideas before they go about it. They can't just jump right into the fun stuff. You know, there's, with every job, with every career, there is the grunt work. There is the stuff that you don't want to do, but it's the important tasks. And it's the boring tasks, it's the mundane, and it's the stuff that nobody sees or appreciates, but it's very important that they get done. And I think that is what this month is for you right now, Taurus. It's about getting that grunt work done. Let's take a look at what's going on with your connections this month. What's happening with friends, family, maybe business. Let's see what your connections are looking like. We have a few here. Ooh, dropping stuff. So we had the 8 of Swords here, we have the 5 of Cups reversed, and we have the 4 of Pentacles. 8 of Wands usually comes when we're really overthinking, clouding our emotional world, getting ourselves really hung up on things that we maybe don't necessarily need to be hung up on, overthinking how we go about things. And it can be a sign that we need to pump the brakes with maybe thinking the worst of ourselves or the worst of others, when that's not necessarily the case. With the 5 of Cups reversed, I think right now you're over appreciating people that treat you negatively. If this had come out upright, I would say it's about you're focusing on a loss, you're focusing on the negative, and you're not realizing the positive that you have. But this is reversed, and I think you're not realizing that even though there has been all this negative and you're still trying to see the light, you're trying to see the positive, it's not enough. It's not sustainable. And again, with the 4 of Pentacles, I really feel like you're overthinking whether you stay or whether you go. With the 8 of Swords, the 4 of Pentacles is you holding on to this connection. There's been good times. We've known each other for so long. They helped me out when I needed and I helped them out. We're there for each other, and it's like, but there's a lot more negative than there is positive, and it's starting to become almost harmful to your connection, what you're building, what you're working towards. And sometimes we do need to understand that even though that there has been good, we need to appreciate that there is negative, and it is okay to walk away from those things from time to time. We're going to go ahead and tap into some advice, the best way to navigate, and then we'll clarify all of these things so we can get a bit of a deeper message for you, Taurus. So, what is the advice, or the best way for a Taurus to navigate this month of June? What is the advice they need to hear for this month ahead, please, Spirit? One more card, 9 of Wands. So we have the 7 of Wands and the 9 of Wands. So the best advice for you right now is that you don't need to defend yourself and you don't need to defend your boundaries. I mean, being able to understand your reasoning, so that if you are challenged, that you know your reasoning, and it's not just because, you know, that's never a great reason. You know, having understanding of our feelings and emotions and why we need space, why we need boundaries, and why we feel hurt is amazing. Being able to verbalize that and vocalize that if we need to is, again, another great thing. With the Seven of Wands, though, with the Seven of Wands and the Nine of Wands together, though, I feel like it's that energy of you should be able to defend your boundaries, but you shouldn't have to. And if people start challenging you, just because is a good enough reason. To yourself, you need to have understanding, and you need to, just because isn't enough. But when it comes to other people, telling them, I need space, just because is enough. And you shouldn't have to defend that, and you shouldn't have to fight that. Being able to is important, but you shouldn't have to. And when it comes to it, being able to step away sometimes can be more important than starting that fight or tapping into that negative defensive energy. So let's grab our second deck, and we're going to clarify these messages so we can dive a little bit deeper. So we're going to start with the Knight of Pentacles. Why is this in the current energy for Taurus, please? Why is this current energy for the month of June, please, Spirit? Why is the Fool? So this, again, you really are in the start of a new journey here. 11/11 on the timer. So it's something you've been manifesting, wishing for, hoping for, and you're really excited to dive in and take those first steps. But I feel like right now you're in that time for planning more than anything. So the Knight of Pentacles is almost reminding you, like, to think before you leap a little bit. Again, there will be a time where you have to just have blind faith and you can just jump, but right now we are doing a little bit more planning and a little bit more thinking things through. Why is Death current energy for Taurus, please, Spirit? Why is Death here for Taurus in the month of June? Get one card, please, why Death is here. So we have these Seven of Cups. You're craving change, you're craving transformation, but again, it comes with the setup. It comes with making the right choices, making the right decisions, so that when the time, and we also have the Seven of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So when we come to having maybe to defend ourselves, to say why we made certain choices, we will have a future to show for it. We'll have the change and transformation. Again, maybe right now we don't have the time, the energy to really show the change, to make this transformation, but we can start by making the right decisions to get us there in time. The Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands clarified. Why is this in the current energy? Why is this a theme of the month? Seven of Wands? Seven of Cups. Why is this Seven of Cups here, please, Spirit? We have the Two of Pentacles. So again, like you said, you want to, like I said, you want to take this leap, you want to have fun and just dive into things. But again, with the Two of Pentacles, things need to be balanced. You have a lot on your plate, a lot of other responsibilities, and maybe not even the right set of finances for the big dreams and the big decisions that you want to make. So again, prep and planning are crucial at this time for you. This is the month, this is the boring month of learning and studying and prepping and planning for whatever this big change and transformation is. If it's a spiritual one, you know, make sure that you're meditating and you're reading, you know, those texts that are important. If you're looking at a new hobby or starting a business, maybe reading some articles or some books, watching YouTube videos that you know are gonna help. That I feel like it's doing the grunt work of, you know, putting yourself away and just learning and studying and growing here. Almost like this is your hibernation time now, so that when everybody's hibernating in winter, you can blossom. I don't know why that is just the message that came through. So we're going to start to clarify the Six of Pentacles. Why is the Six of Pentacles a challenge for Taurus in the month of June, please, Spirit? Why is this a challenge this month? That is Death card. I think when we're, again, wanting big change, especially in finances or in our material world, we really have to start by looking at where we give money and where we take money and where we maybe are overspending more than we have. This is really interesting because the Queen of Pentacles is about having wealth and prosperity and having abundance. But again, if we're giving to people, like, well, I just have so much that I just want to give to people because I love it. But then you realize that I actually want to invest, or I want to spend money on this, or I don't have money for this now. You know, I don't have what I want because I'm giving to people, but at least I'm making people happy. I think for you, if you're wanting this change and you're wanting this transformation, again, it comes with making the right choices, making the right decisions, and sometimes that is unfortunately saying no to people. And with the Five of Pentacles coming out, Five of Cups and the Four of Pentacles, I do feel like maybe there are people trying to take advantage of your financial situation, but that is only going to be for some specific Tauruses out there. Let's clarify this Queen of Pentacles, please, Spirit. Why is this a challenge for Taurus this month? Why is the Queen of Pentacles a challenge here this month? Why is she challenging us this month, please, Spirit? The Nine of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. Again, we're wanting to make new investments. We're wanting to grow our wealth, our material world, our finances, whatever it is. We're wanting to grow and expand. And again, that does come with setting boundaries from those who take. Who, if you're wanting to have all that the Queen of Pentacles has, she doesn't let go of it loosey-goosey. I don't know why I wanted to say it loosey-goosey, but she doesn't. She holds on to it. She invests it wisely. She gives it out sparingly. She gives it out when she feels time's right. She's, you know, she holds on to it. She invests it wisely. She puts it places where she knows it will grow instead of just giving it to give it, if that makes sense. Can you clarify, please, why the Hierophant is reversed and why is the Hierophant for work here, please, Spirit? So we have strength. Strength is coming through right now. It feels more like patience for you. You don't want to, maybe you don't feel like you have the attention span, and it feels like it's going to be something that you should just be able to rush through, just something that you should just be able to skim over, you know? Why do I have to read this whole book or watch this whole video when I can just have, you know, read a summary or watch speed the video up, or, you know, but you have to slow down and you have to do things day after day, get through the mundane. In the traditional tarot deck, strength is actually a woman taming a lion. She didn't just walk up to the lion one day and go, right now, I've tamed you, you're my lion. She went day after day doing this scary task, doing the task that took more strength. It's like that Smith lyric, okay? It takes strength to be patient and kind. It takes strength to do things slowly and over time, and to keep showing up even when you don't feel like it, even though you don't want to. There were probably times where she would show up to tame the lion and she just did not want to do it. Why do I want to tame this lion? Why do I want to keep doing this when it takes so long? But at the end of it, she had this fierce, loyal protector. She had something that she could show off, something that she was proud of. She had a deeper bond. She had a deeper connection. And when you want to build something big like that, you have to show up gently and slowly and over time and do the mundane, even if it looks non-traditional from the outside. And the Two of Wands. Why is the Two of Wands? We have the Two of Wands. We have the Knight of Cups. Again, you think you can just charm your way through things, get things done quickly, just to show up and it be done. But no, you have to show up day after day, making those plans. Like I said, doing the mundane. And sometimes you have to find the magic in the mundane to find the enjoyment, you know? What is it? Where people like romanticize the mundane, make it fun for you. And I think that is what your work and purpose and career is about right now. It's like, I don't know, maybe put on a cute outfit when you study, or make your favorite drink, or like go out to a cafe to study one day, or go to the library. Put yourself out there into a different environment. Make it romanticized, make it fun. It doesn't have to be boring, but it has to be done. You know, it doesn't have to be boring while you do it, but it's something that needs to be done. So you can do it boring, you can do it fun, but it's got to be done either way. We're gonna go ahead and clarify the Eight of Swords. This is for your connections. What are they overthinking in their connections, please, Spirit? What's this Eight of Swords and their connections all about for my Taurus watching this video, please, Spirit? We have the Three of Wands. I don't know why. Maybe you're trying to keep people around for when the action happens, for when you need, maybe when you're expecting help, or when you're done with the planning, you're trying to keep people around, or you're overthinking, like, will I ever get to the action? Will they see the action? I don't know what it is. I feel like you almost want people there when you start taking action, when you start showing, when you have something to show for all you've worked for. I feel like maybe that's why you want to rush it. But I feel like even with the Five of Cups here, the people that you want around for your wins would not appreciate them as much as you do, and they would almost go underappreciated. Clarify the Five of Cups reverse. Why is this in the connections for Taurus this month, please, Spirit? Why is this here? Whoa, that one flew out interestingly. we have the Queen of Pentacles. So again, I do feel like this is people trying to take advantage of your financial situation. They're nice, and they're good friends sometimes, but would they do the same back if they were in your position? That is a good thing to point out. You know, it's okay for your friends to not be in the same position as you, not to have everything that you have, but would they still be your friend if you didn't have everything that you had? Would they still be your friend if you weren't a Queen of Pentacles? If you didn't offer them the stability, security, whatever it is that you offer them, would they still be your friend if you didn't have what you have? If you was just if you weren't a queen, I guess, is the question. And if you feel like you're underappreciated in your connections, then what are you holding on to them for? Again, there's balance and moderation in these things. You have to take it with a grain of salt, and you have to obviously have that discernment in your own intuition and your own emotional understanding of your friendships. You can't just take my advice for it. You know your connections more than I do, but you'll know if that is to resonate with you, Taurus. The Four of Pentacles. Clarify this Four of Pentacles for Taurus, please, Spirit. We have the Six of Cups. So it is that you're holding on to these connections because of your past. It's nostalgic. You've had all these memories. They were kind in the past. It's been so long. But again, sometimes time is not everything. Time and memories are not everything. Sometimes they are just that. It is a good time spent with someone. It is good memories made with them. But it is not always a future with someone. And it's okay to understand that, and it's okay to hold the memories near and dear in your heart, and it's okay to feel sadness about having to walk away. And these things can be difficult. But it feels like you're holding on to the memories and the nostalgia more than anything right now. So that's just something to evaluate for yourself this month. 111 was on the time, and then so it is a new beginnings and gaining clarity here. The Seven of Wands is advice for Taurus. Why is this advice for June, please? Why is this advice for the month of June for my Taurus? What can you do, please? How is the Seven of Wands advice for Taurus, please? What's this advice? Woo! That's the Page of Swords. So it really is about gaining clarity. Being the student, okay? It is about studying and gaining knowledge, but sometimes it doesn't have to, like I said, it doesn't have to be boring. It can be fun. You have to be curious about it. You have to be excited. So make it exciting. And it's not exciting if you feel like you have to defend yourself and fight for it and put up a fight. It should not feel like a fight. And sometimes if you feel like you're fighting yourself, then you're not doing things for the right reason. Again, we also have the Seven of Wands on the bottom of the deck there. Again, it shouldn't feel like a battle to do things you love. And it shouldn't feel like a battle to be around people that you love as well. And the Nine of Wands. Why is the Nine of Wands in the advice for Taurus, please, Spirit? Why is the Nine of Wands here for Taurus? Get one more card, please. Five of Cups. This will be sad. Walking away, setting boundaries. Again, it doesn't have to be forever, but when things are hurtful, when things are harmful, when things are more trouble than they're worth, when they're negative and they bring you down, sometimes it is just more baggage than it's worth. And again, you're not selfish for setting boundaries. You're not selfish for separating yourself. And it doesn't make you a bad person, and it certainly doesn't make you a bad friend. It's okay to be sad about having to end connections, having to step back, having to walk away. You're human. This is a very difficult reading for you this month, and I really hope that maybe you find the advice that you're looking for in that book, and you find that understanding and you find that clarity. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. Be sure to check out my Zoom sessions. They are linked down below. And if you've watched this far, I truly appreciate you.